welcome to my channel, the #1 place for singers, actors, dancers, and musicians. Today is a very special day. We're going to do a collaboration talking about collaborations with Charissa Memrick, and this is just going to be so much fun. I can't wait for you to see it. Charissa and I also have a very special musical collab for you over on her channel, and you can check it out here. I'm going to show you some clips of it during this conversation, and let's just dive in. Okay, welcome, Charissa. I am so excited to be doing this interview with you all about collaboration. And our audiences probably don't know, but I am one of your huge fans, and that was how we initially connected, because I just saw, I was really attracted to your Instagram handle, crossover Charissa, I think is what it is. Is that right?
Mm-hmm, that's correct.
And it was pretty early in me jumping online on Instagram specifically, and I was like attracted to crossover because I'm a classical crossover-ish singer myself. And you were using hashtags with coloratura in them. And so that, I found you like in the way that people find people on Instagram,
right?
Hashtags and handles. So that's how I found you. And I had been observing you doing collaborations, which was part of the genesis of this, but only part of it. Why don't you share how our relationship evolved?
Absolutely. So as Fiona mentioned, she definitely was a fan, like it felt like, and it was kind of just really a relationship of, oh, hey, I'm posting something, and then I would post something, I would get a response from her, and vice versa. And we were just posting things that were in the same vein and very similar, and it felt really nice to kind of like bounce off of each other and see those ideas kind of fleshed out and kind of like build upon, oh, they're doing this thing and specifically. And then Fiona reached out to me about doing private one-on-one business coaching. And at the time I was really frazzled and kind of running my own business, but it was in the first years of my business. So I really didn't have a clear vision of what I wanted or needed or what running a business would look like. And being a freelancer, it's a whole thing. So for about 5 to 6 months, I believe, Fiona and I worked one-on-one and built this really meaningful relationship in which I went through a lot of my own limiting beliefs. And ever since then, Fiona's just been like a really, really awesome supporter of what I do online and a really good source of clarity. So.
Yay. And so for any of you who are like wondering about navigating these online relationships, they get to be so diverse and they get to grow with you as you grow, right?
It's wild.
So I found you because I was a fan of the music you were creating. Our relationship evolved. I started doing business coaching more and more. That was appealing to you. We worked together. We evolved in your business, which is like super cool. And why don't you just tell our audiences for a second that part of your business, the coaching part, like just describe what it is you do.
So what I do in particular is I take the skills that I know that I'm really good at, and I've niched down to exactly what I want to teach people, which is a lot of style trait characteristics for different genres, vowel placement, and like technique. And I don't really do a lot of the rudimentary technique, but that niching down has really allowed me to create a studio in which I'm teaching style, interpretation of music, resume building, networking, and kind of mindset and limiting beliefs all in one kind of package.
So cool. And so when you think about what Profitable Performer Revolution does, it helps performers do exactly what Charissa has done, which is to figure out what it is that you're most passionate about and most excited to do, whether that's some kind of performing or some kind of coaching or some kind of mixture, which is so many of us, right? It's me and it's you too, Charissa. And then help you evolve that into an actual business, which Charissa has now done, which is like lights me up. Okay, so We are now talking about collaboration, and I think talking about how our relationship began and evolved is really part of the whole collaborative process, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
And so Charissa has been an inspiration for me watching the collaborations that she's been doing. So much so that I even used her as a reference inside of my YouTube domination course when I was talking about collaborations, because she does them both to promote and to, not just to promote, but to share herself as a coach, but also as a performer. And so it's super cool the way that she's doing both. And Charissa reached out to me to do a musical collaboration, which was really cool, especially because I hadn't been performing very much. I had, you probably know when I started this channel, been doing every other week music video. Well, actually when I started, I was doing it twice a week, one music video and one coaching video. But in the development of Profitable Performer Revolution, I sort of was taking a little bit of a step back on my singing. And Charissa reached out to me, which was perfect timing to do a collab. You want to talk about it? Maybe share why you reached out to me and what's going on with you in terms of collaborating on music videos in general.
Absolutely. So I reached out to Fiona because I knew that Fiona was a trained singer, first of all. I know Fiona knows what it is to have specific musicality and how to match up and link up with another singer, which is harder to do when you are virtual because you are kind of piecing things together. But it really does take a certain kind of voice that is trained to be able to kind of shove themselves into, I guess, new or dynamic situations. And I think that's what the classical training does give us, kind of symbiotically or maybe passively. And so I knew that she was a trained singer. I knew that she had already put out lots of videos like this and had experience and would know, okay, how am I putting this in my DAW and DAW digital audio workstation? How am I specifically getting the right angle? What does my lighting look like? And when you see somebody putting out that content, and when you see somebody consistently putting out that content, you're reminded that they're going to be a good collaboration partner because they're specifically showing up and fixing and tweaking and making sure that their process and that their product is something that is a really effective performance. So that is part of the reason why I reached out to you. And I just felt like the song that I had in my brain would work really well for us. And I think our storytelling through the song that we chose is just going to be really delightful, I think.
Yeah, I can't wait to see what you do with the editing. And I think that we just came here on one of our first tips for collaboration, which, if I'm understanding you right, Charissa, is make sure that you know what you're getting in your collaborator. So Charissa had done her research on me simply by seeing what I had put out in the past. She actually bothered to look at my content. And from that, you felt a certain amount of security, knowing what I would be able to deliver to you. So would you say that that's a good first tip?
I think that's a good first tip, and I would actually go ahead and elaborate on that and say that it was also at my level. It was also at a level in which I went, oh, I know what's happening there. I know what's happening there. Oh, I've seen that. I've done that. And it wasn't like at a level where, I'm looking at somebody who's bringing in millions of views and looking at their production value and I have no idea how many people are on the crew. If you kind of can see that product that other people are creating and kind of relate to that as well as far as production value, that might also be another advanced tip when you're looking at collaborations.
Really good point. And also the same in the other direction, right? You're not really wanting to bring in a collaborator where they're going to deliver footage that is just not going to match yours. The lighting, the lighting is not maybe it's blurry. The lighting is too harsh or too bright, or
they have a day job and they're just doing a daily grind and they're just not going to be able to get it into you at a certain time, or there's just so many variables. And again, what what showing up consistently and showing that the product is similar to yours does is it weeds out all of those people that just aren't going to be in collaboration with you on the same level.
Yeah, really, really good point. So how would you encapsulate that into tip number 2 is basically making sure that production values are on par, whether it's not too much advanced or too much below, like a little bit of variation is okay to stretch one of you, but that it's not.
Yeah, you need to be able to see yourself in their production value.
Yeah, I love that. And then I'm thinking a third thing we want to talk about here is timing. And to be perfectly frank, I feel like I was not on the ball delivering assets to you as was initially sort of expected. Do you want to talk about that for a second?
Absolutely. So I never made a big deal out of it, and I don't feel any harsh feelings about that because we never set a deadline, and that is totally fine. When you're working with other people that have a million things going on and other businesses that they're running, sometimes having flexible deadlines and just knowing that it's going to come out eventually is totally fine. But that only works with people that are also very proactive and very much passionate about what you are doing together. But if you don't have a deadline that is harsh with people that are specifically going to put you at the bottom of the to-do list, who don't have a passion for the project that you're working on, you're not going to get those assets and you're never going to finish it up. This is something that can be very, very flexible because it's two people that are dynamic and are going to come together and figure it out. But I know with projects that I've worked on in the past and projects I'm working on right now, I get an email probably maybe every other day from a project that I'm working on that's reminding us, okay, send in those stems, make sure you're sending those in. Okay, here's the re-edits, here's what we need. Okay, guys, get it in by Tuesday. And sometimes you have to wrangle artists like that, especially if there's more than 2 artists involved, especially with technological things, because you have to make sure everything works in the production. But it depends on who you're working with, and the trust has to be there as well. And I've also met Fiona in person, so I also had an added benefit of knowing who this person was and what their mentality was and what their demeanor was like. So I didn't take anything offensively when they had a flexible deadline. So it's really dependent on who you're working with, and you have to know whether to stretch that trust or not. And that's just part of it.
So if we were going to, for someone that's doing collaborations for the first time or the first few times, maybe a recommendation would be or a tip would be to clearly define with the person you're collaborating with what the expectation is around the deadline, and that if deadlines needed to change at all, to make sure that you're in real communication with them. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And one of the people that, in my experience with collaborations, does this really, really well, her name is Brittany Luberda, I think. Luberda, is if you pronounce it that way. But Brittany is on Instagram, and I've met her through Instagram. She's in New Orleans, I think. And she did a Christmas video with me, and we had a very strict deadline because of Christmas, and we wanted to get it out during the seasonal, festivities. And she gave me not only deadlines, she gave me exactly what she was thinking editing wise and where the cards were going to be. She gave me exactly what my notes were going to be. She gave me the sheet music. She gave me the backtrack, all in one package. And she had a specific one-on-one Zoom call with me explaining everything in the package so that it wasn't overwhelming, but it had all of the little, cement filled in with the cracks and stuff like that for any questions I might have had. So she really, really was very much an A-type like I am. And we worked really well together because she said, here's what I need. And I said, boom, got it, delivered. She said, I need my audio, or I need your audio on this day, and I need your visual on this day. And then she gave me back the track that I could actually lip sync to between those 2 times. And as long as that is set up, those 3 kind of deadlines, you should be fine.
That was awesome. And I'm going to link to her in the description.
She's great.
So
yeah. And she's a great singer too.
What were those 3 things again? Just like 1, 2, 3?
The 3 deadlines that you need to really work on when it comes to collaborations musically: you need to get your audio stems or your tracks, your bare tracks in, so everybody has all their tracks in. Then you need to mix the tracks down into something that is going to be the final take, but it's not mixed and mastered at this point. This is like the bare track, basically vocals put on the track so you know what you're lip syncing to. So audio tracks, mix in audio tracks, and then do visual to it. Once you have those three components, then you can either send it off and make somebody else do all of the editing and mixing and mastering, or you have your one person who is in the center of that project doing it for you.
Yeah. And I gotta say, one of the things that really impressed me straight off the bat in terms of this musical collaboration with you was the way in which you delivered those initial learning tracks to me. I mean, I was blown away. You gave me...
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Cool.
You gave me the track, so it's a duet, right? You gave me the track with, you know, what I would have expected was a empty track and a track with you doing your part, and that's it. But you gave me those, plus you gave me a track of my part alone, plus you gave me a track of both of us together. And I feel like there was even more, but it was like everything I could possibly need to nail my performance. It was so cool.
Mm-hmm. And the only thing I remember I stumbled on was sheet music, because there are so many versions of the piece that we chose and so many different singers that sing it. Since it is so popularized, it's hard to know what type of sheet music that singer is going to need. So I picked a piece of sheet music that actually didn't work with the backtrack, because the backtrack was styled after a very famous singer, but the sheet music was different and had slightly different things in there. And again, I relied on you as a professional musician to just be like, okay, I'm going to bridge this gap. I'm going to figure it out on my own. And I wouldn't say every single singer in the world can do that. And to make that leap into the professionalism of, okay, this is what I need to do to get that extra little slice of spice so that I know exactly what I need.
Yeah,
you know?
I'm really glad that you brought that up, because it also goes to different learning styles. So I happen to be someone who I'm just very visual when it comes to reading, and when I'm even learning somebody's name, I see the letters in my head. And so I'm visual in this way, and it absolutely connects in terms of my learning music and being able to literally see the notes on the page, even though I am not a good sight reader by my own standards. I'm not a good sight reader. There's something about seeing words and notes on the page and relationship between notes that makes the learning process so much faster for me. Now, that's not everyone, right? Some people are very audio and they're gonna not need that sheet music, and they're gonna learn just by ear. And yeah, it was on me in this case to get myself the sheet music, and I did that because I needed it, I wanted it. No big deal, right?
Yeah. And it was figured out, and it was totally fine. I'm totally an oral learner. I totally learn orally, and I just have ever since I was young. But because of my classical degrees, my sheet music is an extra learning tool for me that I do use, especially if I want context clues. So again, it really depends on who your singer is. But as a singer, I highly recommend that you be flexible and find multiple ways to learn one piece. I know that's hard, but that makes you invaluable when it comes to collaborations and when it comes to getting gigs online like this.
Absolutely. Okay, so tell me, Charissa, why are you doing so many collabs? Because I definitely see you as someone who's doing more collabs than other people. I'd love to hear why you're doing it specifically and what you see as the benefits in general.
You know, I didn't even think it was an intentional thing. I think I get inspired by other people, and I'm a large extrovert. I love humans. I love people so much. Even through the pandemic, I learned that I just love people so much, even though we have varying opinions. Like, I love people, and I love to collaborate with people, and I always loved, like, university choir. Like, that was always super fun for me. And super small quartets or ensembles are just, like, my jam, because I love matching to other people. And so doing it digitally has just been kind of cool, and figuring out how to, match our voices and stuff like that has just been like a new way for me to plug in my knowledge when it comes to chamber performance. So I really enjoy working with other people just in general. I get along with others musically. I like it. But I think I do it so much because I just get bored with my own ideas, and I'm just like, ugh, I just want to be inspired by other people, or I just want to work with other people. And then I get excited when like I get new people from their following that are excited about what I'm doing and like can become part of this community that is no longer just me or that other person, but it's like this larger tight-knit community that is all musicians on this social media platform, which to me is just like wild. So cool.
Yeah. So I think I'm hearing really three things in there. One, you do it because you love the artistic process of it, and you love the literal collaborating for artistic gain and to grow yourself and your ideas. So that I'm hearing is one. Two, if we're going to just be blunt about it, it helps you grow your following. And three, it builds community. So those are the three things that I'm really hearing in there. Is that accurate? Mm-hmm. And then from my perspective as a business coach, I'm going to just like double down on number two. It really helps to just literally grow your following when you get your art in front of another person's, following, right? So, and mm-hmm. It's symbiotic. And so when you're looking for collaborators, on the one hand, you definitely want to look in terms of that artistic piece. But on the other hand, you also want to look, are your niches complementary? Are the people that are going to mm-hmm. find you through their following people that you actually want in your community, not just for the community aspect, but as, ideal fans or as ideal students or clients? So when you're thinking about collaborating, you want to look at it from a multifaceted lens.
Absolutely. And like, I would also go as far as to say if you're looking at somebody's profile that starts to follow you and you are starting to understand that they might not really have much to say on your page and they just don't really have the same walk of life, and it's like they're not going to be a lifelong fan. That's fine. But you need to find your tribe. You need to find the people that are so lit up about your stuff and like think that you are like vomiting rainbows online. Like they just need to be so excited about what you're doing, and if they aren't, then like there are so many other people out there that are. Like find them, and you will. But the more that you niche down, the faster and the more excited your fans are going to be.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I really want to call out again how we met, because I think a lot of times, especially for like voice coaches or music teachers or coaches in general, they're looking for the fan or the student or the client. They're looking for that audience member to immediately be lit up by them. But in this situation, mm-hmm. that's not what happened, right? I was lit up by your art, which then translated over time into you being an ideal client in my world. But it didn't start with me looking for the ideal client. It started as me showing up as a fan. And I think that a lot of time that is missed.
Yeah, I completely agree. And I think it's funny because especially, I'm sorry, but especially coaches in very dense, populous places, LA, New York, I've seen a lot of them have a rock star ego when they come on social media and just expect people to fall at their feet and think that their ideologies are the best in the world. And it's like, yeah, you're part of a huge sea now. Humble yourself. Actually like other people's content.
Yeah, actually show up and like other people and support other people. I'm talking, obviously if you're on my channel, you know that I talk about that all the time. Community and collaboration over competition all the time, right?
Yeah, it's also just less isolating, and then like the competition and all the competition that you have on social media, it is a direct link to isolation and depression. It just, for me, it is. So
yeah, I know. And I mean, yes, people who are watching this are nodding their heads and going, yeah, I've been there, you've been there, we've all been there. So instead of going into that competitive and comparison place, we want to reach out. I mean, imagine if every time you were envious of someone, instead of like unfollowing them, you started generously engaging with them, and then it turned into a collaboration. How cool would that be?
Oh my gosh. I know. Yeah, I recently put a post on my Instagram and asked my crowd, I said, hey, what do you do when you have jealousy towards other, artists? Because I was feeling it at the time. And so they basically gave me responses that were like, if you see somebody that you like, aggressively become their friend. And if they don't want to become your friend, then like move on and know that that's okay. But like, it's true. Like, and I've seen that so much with my friends that are closest to me in my network is like, they've made a beeline to me, and I made a beeline to other friends because I was like, I will not harbor hate or frustration or judgment towards this person because I won't allow myself to do it because I'm just going to get there quicker and be their friend.
That changes the world.
Hopefully.
It does. I really believe it. I believe that shifting from any kind of hate into a seeking of connection, that changes the world.
Yeah. Yeah, it takes bravery, and it takes taking your tangled parts and untangling them.
So, Charissa, tell me about your very first collaboration on social media. Was it on YouTube or somewhere else?
It was on YouTube, and I specifically recorded a video when I was in undergraduate studies with my friend Allison. We got a little drunk that night, and we recorded sitting on the dock of the bay. By Sarah Bareilles, recorded by Sarah Bareilles in her version, as a duet. And I keep it up on social media to this day, and it's still public on social media, even though the recording quality is just meh, because it shows exactly who I was in that moment and crystallizes that moment in my mind of who I was and who I was becoming as an artist.
Okay, I love that you have kept it online, and I am going to go check it out, and I hope that all your other followers do too, and anyone else who's watching this video, because I just think that part is so important, letting people see our development as artists, letting others see that we don't come out fully formed as like whatever level we are currently at, because also what that does when we don't do it is it creates an unnaturally high bar, and it makes people feel like they can't jump on until they get to a certain level. But what level is that? And that was something that held me back for a really long time from getting online and really sharing my art and my coaching here at all. What do you think about that?
Yeah. I mean, we already have imposter syndrome that's rampant. Why would we add to that by creating an unrealistic expectation online? It just doesn't make sense. So, yeah, I think it's very unique in the industry that we are kind of pushing in as far as social media and sharing musical experience through social media, because musicians are, on the whole, usually very neurotic about what their product looks like. And having social media show the process of it, I think, is also way more human than just showing up to a performance and seeing somebody who's done, their 100,000 hours of practice and then expecting yourself to be anything near that. Like, there's a lot to be said for how vulnerable and how exciting it is to show the process online, and how social media is creating a place for that I don't think has been shown in a lot of places, even in the education system for music sometimes.
Totally agree with that, because in that educational system, especially at the college level, there's so much crazy competition and comparisons, and
it's ridden. Yeah, ridden with that.
I just hear horror stories of people coming out of college, and I had my own I literally had my first panic attack when I was on stage at conservatory. So it's not just other people, it's me too. That, so I lost my train of thought thinking about that panic attack. What were you just saying?
Having a panic attack in the moment. Yeah, no, it feels like that. It's so much more vulnerable to do this online and to collaborate online, because then you also get to see the different variations of people's learning. And like, I'm working in a project right now where we are reimagining Pirates of Penzance with the pirates being computer hackers. And the singers that are involved, the Pirate King is a cover band singer, an incredible singer, but his music reading skills are not what our classical music skills are at with all the chorus people and the other singers. But that doesn't make him a lesser performer. That means that he's bringing an incredibly dynamic performance that is super, super, like, physical and acting wise, and like he has a lot of improv skills, and there's so much that he can bring to the table that Pirates of Penzance wouldn't see normally.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah. So what I'm hearing is that we need to be super open, share our process, be less judgmental, stop comparing ourselves.
Yeah, do that all in one day.
Yeah, great.
And be happy about it.
So I did want to know about your choice between sharing something on Instagram versus on YouTube when it comes to your collabs, whether musical or coaching. What do you share everything everywhere, or do you have a strategy for what you share on one platform versus another?
Oh man, I really tailor it to the platform. When I'm on Instagram, I take little snippets of the videos and tease little snippets of the videos and then make a narrative about each part of the video and what was happening there, because I want it to be vignettes of how I got to the process. When you go to YouTube, it is the full crystal. Like it's like a full piece of quartz, you know, and it's a big rock and it's a big thing to digest and it's a big thing to look at because it's the full product. And only my true fans are probably going to sit there and watch the entire thing and then give me feedback on it. But on Instagram, it's a way to get people to go, oh, I like this one highlight. Maybe I'll just go watch this other part on YouTube. It's really a gateway so that they get to my larger content, my larger pieces of content, and digest me in a more meaningful way. But Instagram is bite-sized, meaningful posts that specifically target exactly what that person is feeling in that moment. Hey, you're feeling this, and now I'm going to push you to this other platform that I'm really excited to show you my world. I'm coming to your world so that you can be in my world. And it kind of depends where you want them to land. And for me right now, I want people to land on my Twitch because I want to share a live interaction with them every single week and sing them songs from a list of 400 songs that I am learning, 420 right now, because I'm trying to beat my followers to 500. But you have to find a place where you want them to land, where you want to show your authentic self. And then all these other social media platforms, yeah, you post like the same stuff in cut up little pieces depending on what the platform wants. But you need to find a place where you want to hang out with your fans.
Okay, so much gold in all of that. I'm blown away by the numbers there. I was learning, like having that repertoire in my back pocket that I can just pop out. That has never been my thing. And I remember when I was singing, I was doing Italian street singing at this like Italian resort thing in Florida. And I was going around with I'm strolling with an accordion player, and I'm supposed to be able to sing like every Italian Neapolitan type song and Americanized, you know, ones like yeah, exactly. I'm supposed to be able to sing all of those, and take requests, and so often I was like, okay, I could do that some more, eh? Oh, you want 3 coins in the fountain. He can play it for you.
Yep, and that happens on my Twitch channel too. People will come to my Twitch channel that are from China and be like, hey, can you sing this song in Chinese? And I'm like, no, but thanks for asking. You can go to my song list, which is right here. It's like, but I can't do this. And then people will request that I learn songs, and it takes me months and months and months to get to it because I have to also muster up the courage to like start a new piece. Like that's part of it. I usually go from like what I know first.
Yeah, that makes so much sense. And I'm going to go back just a second to the more gold in what you were just talking about, which was the way in which you're really being quite strategic with your platforms. And I couldn't agree more that we want to be very clear about what each platform is like, the ideal length, the ideal type of content. Instagram definitely is going to be shorter, bite-sized things, pushing people to YouTube for something longer, and then all of your social media platforms, we want them to be funneling into your paid offer, whatever that is. In your case, we've got Twitch for your performing. We've also got getting you live performance, paid performances at different venues. And of course, we also have funneling people into your coaching services. And for me, it's funneling people right now primarily into my one-to-one coaching, Profitable Performer Revolution, and YouTube Domination. And then also, what I'm most interested in right this minute is just more musical collabs like this one with you. So it's being really very clear in your own strategy about what you want and what your content is supposed to be doing for you. Okay, I think that we have covered a lot of territory. I think this is great content. Yeah? So Charissa, let's tell everyone a little bit about this musical collab that we've done. I'm going to show a little clip right now, just like we were talking about, right? Giving a little teaser, because I want for sure everybody watching this video to go see our musical collab. What do you think should we tell them the name? What should we tell them?
I think we should definitely tell them the name because there's so much you can do with this song. So we are doing a duet of Children Will Listen from Into the Woods by Stephen Sondheim. And it's just a real classic song that really takes a good amount of musical sentiment to pull off. And I knew that Fiona had great training, and I have a lot of classical training as well. So it's something that was easy for us to kind of sync up on and show maybe a dynamic of our relationship that is very, very present for me at least.
Absolutely. When I was preparing this song, I mean, gosh, as a coach of people often who are struggling with things that I struggled with when I was younger, and as a mother of a teenager right now, this song just like goes straight to my heart. And it's hard to separate like the reality of my life from any kind of, I wasn't, when I was singing this, I wasn't thinking of the witch in this story. I was really thinking of what's my relationship with Charissa? What's my relationship with my daughter? And I loved this song choice of Charissa's, and I cannot wait for you to hear it. I'm so happy with it. And I can't wait to see, I mean, here you're going to see the finished result, but as we're recording this, I haven't seen our footage come together yet, and I just can't wait to see that. So definitely click the link. It's in the description. Go watch I remembered what else I wanted to tell you. So yeah, click the link in the description below. Watch, and this is what I really want to say to you watching this video. Leave us a comment. Leave us a comment here, and leave us a comment on Charissa's music video. I mean, on Charissa's channel, the music video, you're going to watch it there, right? You're seeing this video on my channel. You're seeing our music video on Charissa's channel. You cannot underestimate what your comments mean to us. So they're the energetic exchange. We are creating this content for you, right? And a lot of the time I think, and myself too, like, ever since I started creating content, I became very generous in my commenting on other people's content, because I really understand how much your comments mean to us. They motivate us, they provide momentum for us, and we so appreciate them. Mm-hmm. So just don't underestimate that. Yeah. And leave us some comments. Let us know what you think. Let us know what value you found in this video about collaboration, and let us know how this music video made you feel emotionally. All right? So Charissa, what else would you like to add to the conversation, or how would you like to end our conversation?
I think the last thing I'm going to leave people with as far as collaboration is push past the fear, the petrified fear of being on the other side of an interaction. Push past the initial fear of talking to somebody and just slide into their DMs and ask them how they are, if they want to collaborate. Because if they don't respond, move on. Who cares? Don't put an ego attached to it. go to somebody else who wants to collaborate with you.
I gotta say, that was like saving the best for last. That's probably where we should have started. That is just the most important tip, is how to start. Absolutely. That was gold. More gold. Love it. And also make sure you go and follow Charissa. If you're watching this on my channel, go check out her music videos and become her fan, because I am. And I don't see why you shouldn't be also. So if you liked this video on collaborations, that was a collaboration, let me know in the comments so that I can do more videos like this. And definitely like and subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell, and definitely subscribe to Charissa's channel and like our music video over there. If you're interested in learning more about social media and business for performing artists, or you want to see some of my solo performing, then check out these videos next. And as always, let your light shine. You deserve to be heard, and the world deserves to hear you.